In this video, we'll look at Basketball Monsters player rankings. To access player rankings, you have the player rankings link in this first drop down here, and also the ranks link in the quick navigation area will take you to player rankings. Now, before we get to a point where we are clicking this Get Rankings button to get some results, let's talk about what all goes into those results. First things first is your league settings area. Now this is going to default to standard 12 by 13 with 9 active categories. But what you can do when you click this settings area here is adjust and save settings for up to 10 leagues. League size, league provider for position source, active and or punted categories, and also if you're in a points league, there's a points per stat area to enter numbers for each category. Now you can, as I said, save for up to 10 leagues, so we really encourage you to take advantage of that. And then whatever you have populated here will be what shows up in this league settings area automatically to produce your rankings. The player filters will determine what is displayed upon your results. Top players is 1.5 times all rostered players. So for a 12 by 13 league, it's the top 156, which is all roster players, plus an additional 78 players. All players is every player in the league. Now these next four, my players, available in my players, and watch list and my players, are utilized when you use the team, player, and league import functionality, which we'll cover in a different video, but those are for. You can also look at just rookies or just second-year players in your results. Can select and deselect positions, look at just home and away splits, and also in this drop down allows you to look at single team stats if you just want to look at individual teams. Date filters, we give you a number of defaults here. If those don't happen to suit your purposes, you can enter a specific number of days in this field and also enter a specific date range. What might be most useful for this date range area is, say a player is a starter for 3 weeks in the middle of the season. You select the start and end date from when that player was in the starting lineup, click submit, and it's going to return the rankings for just those 3 weeks. You get to see how that player stacks up against all the rest of the players in the league while they were starting. So that's what can be very useful in the date range area. Display columns, there's a lot of available options here as well. Of course, values is the big number and what the default sort is. You can also show the round impact that a player is delivering, look at the player's age, their dollar value they're returning for auction leagues. If you're using the team or league import functionality, you can show if you own them, if other teams own them. We do allow for custom comments, so you can return those in the list as well. We'll provide status updates, injury news, as well as roto info news if you want to take a look at that. A player's NBA draft status, when they were drafted, what pick, what year. Display your punt columns. Show some average draft pick information if that suits your purposes, average auction value, how often a player starts versus coming off the bench, how consistent their minutes tend to be from a game-to-game basis, and if you enter specific starting roster spots, we can show you some scarcity value based on those starting roster spots. In terms of what stats you want to display to be looking at in your results, you can show cumulative full season stats, or per game stats. And then also in calculating your values, you can use full season cumulative stats, can calculate by player per game value, and also per minute value. So every player in the league, or the top players in the league, in terms of their contributions on a per minute basis. And then skill level is per minute value, but qualified with everyone having to play at least 15 minutes to qualify. And then if you click Show Graph with Rankings, it will plot the top 30 players at each position relative to each other and give you a graphical representation. Okay, when you have those settings and filters and display options set up how you like, you click Get Rankings, and does a little work and returns those rankings for you. And as you can see, green is good, both in the overall value and for each categorical value. And then brilliant green is very good, dark red is very bad, and we shade in between to give you, the different levels of good and bad. Now, if you want to export these results that you're looking at to Excel, you can click this button here, and it gives you the option as well. Good luck and enjoy.